Hello everyone.
Hello, hello.
I'm Toni.
And I'm Tally.
And we are the Lazy Book Lovers. This is a podcast with book lovers who procrastinate about reading and have never-ending to-be-read piles. Today's episode, we're doing a little recommendations list. Today is going to be enemies to lovers. This is cannibalised from my blog. Full disclosure, you can go see the full blog or the full list that I made in Storygraph. You can create tags of the Storygraph, so that's how I've made this list. So that's what we'll be using. FYI. Do you want to have your rant about enemies to lovers now, or are you just going to sprinkle it throughout?
I might just sprinkle.
Because I deliberately chose a triggering topic.
Least expect it, except you'll be expecting it the whole time. I know you're like, this is going to trigger Natalie. We'll do this.
I had a choice between it was enemies to lovers or what was my other one? Let me see what our choices were, just to give full context. So we had dark romance, but I'm pretty sure we did that. Oh, it's Who Did This to You? Enemies to Lovers or more spicy book recs?
Ah, okay.
And I chose Enemies to Lovers. Because
For the lulz.
For the lulz. Okay. Brutal Prince is our first one. By Sophie Lark.
Oh.
This is number 1 in the Brutal Birthright series. I'm just going to be reading their descriptions from Storygraph. If I've read them, I will ad-lib afterwards.
Sophie Lark. I feel like I've read something by her.
Yeah, her name felt really familiar to me too.
Or I've got her on my want to read.
Oh, and for how I found this list, I basically went on TikTok and searched enemies to lovers and then compiled a huge list from a bunch of TikToks, went on Goodreads, got a few from Goodreads. I've tried to do a mix of genres. It's heavily biased towards what I like, just because it's my blog, so... But I've tried to mix.
It is what it is.
So it is what it is, but that's how I found this.
Okay, let's do it.
So, this is the description for Brutal Prince. He is no Prince Charming. Callum Griffin is the heir to the Irish mafia. Oh, it's a mafia romance. He's ruthless, arrogant, and he wants to kill me. We got off on the wrong foot when I set a very small fire in his house. Our families believe a marriage pact is the only thing that will prevent all-out warfare, of course. I think he I might need to murder him while he sleeps. This would be all a lot easier if Callum wasn't so damn good looking. But I've got a lockbox around my heart because even if I'm forced to marry him, I could never love a brutal prince.
There we go, everyone. If you want someone to be forced to marry you, start a small fire in their house.
So presumably,
what's she doing in his house?
Presumably she's from another mafia family, has set this fire, and the mafia families have gone, the only way to resolve this is marriage. Obviously.
It's like a shotgun wedding, but campfire wedding.
And they both want to murder each other.
Yeah, sure, because they're enemies.
Oh, what a shame. He happens to be hot.
Okay. I mean, I enjoy ridiculous concepts for books. I'm not going to lie.
So this is a standalone dark mafia romance complete with a HEA, happily ever after, and no cliffhangers. Blazing hot bedroom scenes for mature readers only. Yes, please check your own trigger warnings and content warnings for these books. Because I didn't, so it's your job as the reader to go and check that one. I like the covers. Seems like a cool vibe.
Until we found out it was mafia, and then we were both like,
yeah, I'm not a big mafia romance person.
I think my issue with mafia books is mafia is like the general idea of mafia is a real life thing, but the books with mafia are completely fantastical, and it bothers
people
me.
Probably from a middle class background borrowing things they've seen in movies.
Yeah, and then so it's a completely fantastical storyline, but in a contemporary
The thing is,
a contemporary scene, and I just don't. No, it's not for me.
the reason they do this, I can get why they do this,
Yeah.
because in a contemporary setting, how are you going to have excusable levels of violence within your main character that your other main character will just overlook?
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand. It's just not for me.
Because they're going to have to be in a gang or a mafia or something, because it's the only way in the modern
Motorcycle
world.
club.
Yeah. That you could have that kind of level of violence and it not be like, okay, I'm not going to date this out and out psychopath, because like that's a red flag, and the only way for it to not be a red flag if it's part of like the lifestyle he lives in or something. So I see why they do it. It's just not for me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And I read one where it was like
doesn't
the
work for
mafia
me.
elders. The elders are mad, and it just kept mentioning the elders, who we never meet, and I'm like, the elders.
Just turn them into Fae. No,
Okay.
but yeah, it you know, I'm not saying it's a bad
No,
genre.
I'm not saying this author's
It's
bad.
just not for
or-
me.
It's just not for us. But if you like the sound of that, have at it, my friend.
You know, there's going to be loads of people out there that are like, why do you want to read about
Fairies.
fairies? Yeah, exactly.
I love a bit of face art.
I mean, like the trilogy. My brain has died.
Cruel Prince?
Yeah,
Yep.
you know, you could claim that's mafia vibes, but because it's
Ooh.
Fae, we allow it.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah.
He's the Prince of Fae. Like. Okay, so our next book, The Shadows Between Us. The Shadows Between Us, Book 1. So that's the name of the series. Tricia Levenseller. That's how I'm saying her name.
I thought it was Trisha.
That's really obvious now you said that. It's Trisha, isn't it?
I've always read it as Trisha. Am I wrong?
Maybe I've just never seen the name Trisha written down. That's not how I would have spelled it, but that makes sense now you've
How
said
would you
it.
spell Trisha?
I don't know, like it sounds.
With an S in it.
Yeah,
and
Trisha.
a H.
Trisha. Yeah. So maybe I just... Oh, okay, Trisha.
I don't know. I've always
My bad.
I've always read
I
it as
fully
Trisha.
believe you are right. So disclaimer, neither of us can apparently do names. I'm not usually in charge.
Usually she's just laughing at my pronunciation.
Yeah, usually I just get to mock you. Okay.
Tricia.
Um,
You're like that skit of the Aaron.
Yeah. Why does Aaron have two names? Aaron. Aaron. Anyway. Focus. They never found the body of the first and only boy who broke my heart, and they never will. Quote marks. Alessandra is tired of being overlooked, but she has planned to gain power, woo the Shadow King, marry him, kill him, and take his kingdom for herself. No one knows the extent of the freshly crowned Shadow King's power. Some say he could command the shadows that swirl around him to do his bidding. Others say they speak to him, whispering thoughts of his enemies. Regardless, Alessandra knows what she deserves, and she's going to do everything within her power to get it. But Alessandra's not the only one trying to kill the king. As attempts in his life are made, she finds herself trying to keep him alive long enough for him to make her his queen, all while struggling not to lose her heart. After all, who better for a Shadow King than a cunning, villainous queen?
Okay,
That
so
one might be a bit of me.
I didn't know anything about this, but I wanted to
you've
read
seen the
it
cover.
just because of the cover. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
had it on my TBR and
Same.
never read the blurb. That sounds so
That does
good.
sound
That's-
really good.
That's jumping
See,
up
again-
higher now.
Again, yeah. It's in a fantasy setting, fucking acceptable.
Buying it.
Perfect. I love it when the female character is a little bit murderous.
Yeah.
Because then when they do fall for each other, it is genuine enemies to lovers. Like, it's a bit more...
Like Bridge Kingdom. That was no. I'm gonna save it actually.
Bridge Kingdom is later in this list.
For when you've got one that particularly needs my rant, I'm gonna save
Okay,
it.
save it. The rant is coming, guys.
It's incoming.
I picked this whole genre just for this very reason.
Imagine if I went the whole way through and didn't do it.
Didn't say it.
It wouldn't be me.
We're just
would
gonna
it?
tease you guys. I'm gonna edge you.
Edge.
I love how we both thought the same thing.
Edge you in the audience.
Okay. So this one we have discussed in depth recently, so we're not going to go very long on it. Fourth Wing. It's on this enemies to lovers list.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because only one. It is enemies to lovers,
but it's only for the girl
as well.
Yeah, the girl, he was her enemy and becomes a lover. For him, I'm pretty sure she was never an enemy.
And she doesn't actually see him as an enemy. She's just told that he sees her as an enemy. It's really interesting. Yeah. I approve, yeah.
But she's like, agreed. He's definitely going to kill me, and then he just keeps not killing her. And she's like, sus vibes.
And everyone's like, he's going to kill you, he's going to kill you. She's like, he's had a few chances, and he hasn't. Yeah. Yet. What's his plan?
He found me in the darkness by a river that would legit kill me if you threw me in it, and
no
was just like
on your way.
There. Yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna do the description and move on.
Yeah, we've got a whole episode on this, by the way. Number 91. Go back a few weeks.
Oh my god, that feels like it was ages ago, but it's not.
No. I mean, for us, that literally came out yesterday.
Oh my god. I'm so confused about life.
Life, but time has no meaning.
I'm still sort of in denial that I am going on holiday.
Tomorrow.
3 a.m. tomorrow. Yeah. I have to get up to go on holiday.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of in denial about that. When I got up to do this recording today, I said to Mum, I was like, I have to get up at 3 o'clock today. And she was like, yeah, you do. And I was like,
is one of your parents taking you?
Yeah, Mum is.
Good,
so I was like,
good old Mum.
It's like, we have to get up at 3 o'clock today to go on holiday, for me to go on holiday. And she was like, yeah, we do.
A birthday holiday.
A birthday. I'm going to be 30. I'm old. Actually, I'm completely fine about telling 30. This has probably been one of the nicest years of my life, so like, touch wood, it stays that way. Apart from losing my job, but that actually didn't cause me that much trauma.
I don't think I really had any feelings about turning 30 because it was literally like 2 weeks before I gave birth. So.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of my friends are having crises about it, but I'm like, I feel like I'm finally the age I've been in my head.
I think your 30s are your best years, really.
Because like, everyone's finally getting comfortable.
20s are like just bonus teenagers. It's like you're a teenager still in your head, but you have responsibilities.
Everyone's doing like their weird things they love to do now. Like everyone, even people who thought they were cool, are now doing weird shit. Like, I don't know, my friend was like, someone made me jam, and he was like, and I was so excited about it. And I was like, I like that we're approaching 30, and a friend of mine can go, here's jam that I made for fun at the weekend, and then I've got jam that they made, and I'm like, I like this.
I don't know if lockdown helped people as well.
Yeah. I think
heal some inner trauma.
Well, I think for some of us, it kicked us out of that partying phase fairly roughly, and then you couldn't get back into it. Like for me, I don't know, like even less than once a month I go out now, whereas I would probably go out a lot more pre-pandemic.
People had the chance to actually discover hobbies.
Yeah. Sorry, fourth wing.
Oh yeah.
20-year-old Violet Sorringal was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history.
Did you call her Violent?
Violet. Did I sound like I said violent?
Yeah, I mean that is a nickname that she has, isn't
Maybe
it?
That was subconscious.
Yeah.
Now, the commanding general, also known as her tough as Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre, dragon riders. When you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away. Because dragons don't bond to fragile humans, they incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond cadets, most will kill Violet to better their own chance of success. The rest will kill her just for being her mother's daughter, like Xaden Riorson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. She'll need every edge her wits can give her, just to see the next sunrise. Yet with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly, the kingdom's protective wards are failing, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Secret?
Secret.
Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at Basgiath College has an agenda, but because once you enter, there are only 2 ways out, graduate or die.
It is Xaden.
Yeah.
I saw the author.
Oh, okay.
Talking about it in a video.
That's good.
When I heard it, I was like, I should let Toni know.
So not Shaden or Exdan.
Not Exdam!
Exdam! Okay, next on my list
It always makes me think of Xavier. Which is how I pronounce it. And I have a cousin who is no longer with us, but he was called Xavier. But then some people, obviously it's Xavier.
Oh.
And then
I didn't know that was...
when I was in Malta, one of the supervisors, his name was Xavier, but he pronounced it Xavier. So yeah, it just depends on where you come from.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know Xavier even had different pronunciations. It's like Darius. It's Darius, some places.
Darius?
Darius is Darius, some places, yeah.
Darius is the only way to pronounce that as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, Darius.
No, I've never heard it pronounced that way. What?
I don't know why you're so shocked. I thought Darius was like the...
I've only heard Darius.
This is someone I used to work with.
Darius?
Yeah.
I've never heard it pronounced that way. That is... Yeah, not how I pronounce it.
Anyway.
Tricia.
We're being very off topic this episode. I'm so sorry, guys. The Bridge Kingdom, Book 1.
Whoop! Oh, this is another one with a name that we don't know how to pronounce.
I would argue Book 3 and the characters it follows in 3 and 4 are also enemies to lovers. But anyway, we'll stick with...
I need to finish this series. I'm going strong with my only reading the first in the series.
Yeah, it frustrates the living hell out of me. I was so excited when you started The Bridge Kingdom and you just listened to one and stopped.
And I was like, I'm really excited about reading the next one, and I just didn't.
They're all in the included library. You've no excuses.
Oh, I should have added that to my list to do this month. I'm going to update my series tracker and then shame myself into carrying on with some of them.
Thank you. That would make me feel good. What if you fell in love with the enemy, the person you sworn to destroy? Lara only has one thought for her husband on their wedding day: I will bring your kingdom to its knees. A princess trained from childhood to be a lethal spy, Lara knows that the Bridge Kingdom represents both legendary evil and legendary promise. The only route through a storm-ravaged world, the Bridge Kingdom controls all trade and travel between lands, allowing its ruler to enrich himself and deprive his enemies, including Lara's homeland. So when she is sent as a bride under the guise of fulfilling a treaty of peace, Lara is prepared to do whatever it takes to fracture the defences of the impenetrable Bridge Kingdom. But as she infiltrates her new home, a lush paradise surrounded by tempest seas, and comes to know her new husband, Aaron, Lara begins to question where the true evil resides. Around her she sees a kingdom fighting for survival, and in Aaron, a man fiercely protective of his people. As his mission drives her to deeper understanding of the fight to possess the bridge, Lara finds simmering attraction between her and Aaron impossible to ignore. Her goal nearly within reach, Lara will have to decide on her own fate. Will she be the destroyer of a king or the saviour of her people? I think that's a pretty good summary. I really liked this book. Go read it.
And they are
genuine enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
For realsies.
For realsies.
For realsies.
Mm-hmm. Whilst you're reading that, some of your little plants had a little wake up.
Who was pinging about?
So this one, but these were moving because you bopped them. But at the top, they were moving, which wasn't from you bopping them.
Some they move with the light, some of them.
Yeah. And I saw something move round here, so I think it might have been something on that one.
Yeah, this one's looking a bit sad.
And I was watching. I thought I saw something move over there, but I'm not sure.
I've got a lot more prayer plants now, and they do move with the sun. So a few of them should be popping about soon.
Yeah. Oh, anyway.
And you can see my bloody Fittonia having a little dramatic fit right now. It faints. I bought a plant that faints when you don't water it enough. They're really dramatic.
We're having a really tangent-y episode.
Yeah,
it's because we just had coffee.
No, it's also because you're not in charge, and you are a bad influence when you're not in charge.
I get distracted, don't I?
Yeah. Because I saw you sort of staring about while I was talking then. Okay.
What is it with me?
I don't know. This is why usually you're in charge, because we found it's difficult.
The neurodivergent is strong. Right, I'm gonna listen.
While you've got a task, you're fine.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And then when I don't, I start just thinking.
Do you want? I've got
things.
fidgets somewhere. Do you need a fidget?
But then I'll be making noise, and I don't want to upset editor.
Wait, I think I have a non-noisy fidget. Where's my ball?
Oh, this pink one.
Yeah, squeeze the pink ball.
Oh yes.
It changes colours.
Okay, yeah.
But it's silent. Cool. There you go.
Thanks.
Okay, next one is It kind of sounds like I'm beating heart or something. That's very creepy. Vicious, the first book in the Sinners of Saint series by L.G. Shen.
Oh.
This one is one of those kind of covers that has a half-naked man on it.
Ah.
So just establishing the vibes.
I was like, V. Schwab, yes, vicious. And I was like, oh, this is a completely wrong thing.
Okay. We've got 2 descriptions written from 2 different points of view. It's one of those.
The ones I always trip up on.
Amelia, they say love and hate are the same feelings experienced under different circumstances, and it's true. The man who comes to me in my dreams also haunts me in my nightmares. He is a brilliant lawyer, a skilled criminal, a beautiful liar, a bully and a saviour, a monster and a lover. 10 years ago he made me run away from the small town where we lived. Now he came for me in New York, and he isn't leaving until he takes me with him. And then apparently our evil main character is called Vicious. So, I mean, you're going to be a villain with a name like that.
You might as well just fall into fantasy at this point.
Yeah.
Come on.
Vicious.
He's a lawyer and he's called Vicious.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Mr.
your
Vicious
name.
Smith.
Yeah. I'll just
Alright.
assume
Anyway.
he's got a nickname. Maybe Vicious is his nickname.
Fuck knows.
It's short for Vishire.
His name's like Victoire or something.
Victoire.
Okay, Vicious. She is a starving artist, pretty and evasive like cherry blossom. I've never described cherry blossom like that in my life, but you do you. Pretty and evasive. Anyway, 10 years ago she barged into my life unannounced and turned everything upside down. She paid the price. Emily LeBlanc is completely off limits. My best friend's ex-girlfriend, the woman who knows my darkest secret, and the daughter of the cheap help we hire to take care of our estate. That should deter me from chasing her, but it doesn't. So she hates me. Big fucking deal. She better get used to me. So this is a bully romance, clearly.
Okay, so just to be clear, enemies...
Yes, here we go.
You can't be enemies in a contemporary setting. Neither of them will kill each other when they see each other. It's not enemies. It's just dislike.
It's basically he's
or
going to abuse
forbidden
her.
romance, or...
I mean, this is essentially he's going to straight up abuse her when he gets her.
It's not enemies. I will just about allow a contemporary mafia to be enemies because using mafia makes it not contemporary anyway, in my eyes. Makes it magical realism or something. But yeah.
So he's a lawyer and she's the daughter of their caretaker, like their house caretaker.
That's not enemies.
And they ran off together 10 years ago, and I don't know.
Wait, I was confused. Did she run away with his friend or with him?
I'm not sure. Let me go back to the description.
I'm sure the book's good for anyone that's interested, but I'm just saying it's not enemies to lovers.
Yeah, he made me run away from the small town where we lived.
But then
his description said he's the best friend's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. Anyway.
I bet it's got some good sex scenes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, borderline probably abusive, but sometimes that's a nice vibe. In a book, not in real life.
Nothing's better than abusive sex.
Sometimes those sex scenes are hilarious.
I'm just judging these on whether they're enemies to lovers. I'm not judging the book or the skill of the author. I'm just saying it's not enemies.
Or your particular kinks in reading this.
No.
You do you.
But don't call it enemies to lovers if it's not.
And do not accept borderline abusive behaviours
We
in
need
real life.
to do a love triangle episode so I can do my love triangle rant as well.
Yep. And we can popularise the term love corner.
Love corner.
Okay, our next one, bit different in vibe. Red, white and royal blue.
Not enemies, but
Casey
opposite ends of the
Beckinsale.
political spectrum.
Right. What happens when America's first son falls in love with the Prince of Wales? When his mother became president, Alex Claremont Diaz was promptly cast as the American equivalent of a young royal, handsome, charismatic genius. His image is pure millennial marketing gold for the White House. There's only one problem. Alex has a beef with the actual prince, Henry, across the pond. When the tabloids get hold of the photo involving an Alex-Henry altercation, US/British relations take a turn for the worse. Heads of the family, state and other hunters devise a plan for damage. plan for damage control, staging a truce between the two rivals, where what at first begins as a fake Instagrammable friendship grows deeper and more dangerous than either Alex or Henry could have imagined. Soon, Alex finds himself hurtling into a secret romance with a surprisingly unstuffy Henry that could derail the campaign and upend two nations, and begs the question, can love save the world after all? Where do we find the courage and power to be the people we are meant to be, and how can we learn to let our true colours shine through?
Oh, so it's not different ends of the political spectrum, it's just different countries.
Yeah, different countries, I guess.
Ah, interesting. I think there's a second one coming out, isn't there?
Is this the one that's been turned into a TV series?
Film? TV series?
I'm
Some
sure.
sort of something like that.
Because someone reviewed it on YouTube and I keep meaning to watch the review to see if it's worth watching.
I've heard that it's not.
Oh, that's sad.
But I also haven't read the book, so what do I know?
Yeah. So this one you have read, I believe.
Oh.
The Unhoneymooners.
No.
No? I feel like I remember you talking about it though, because I remember us talking about this cover.
It was on a list, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I do want to read this.
Christina Lauren.
Yeah. They're not enemies though, just saying.
Right, let me read the description. You guys can decide for yourselves, but there you have the vote. Not enemies. We should have made a tally. We should have had a little tally going.
Tally. Yeah, we should have.
We should have had like a little not enemies.
Bingo
enemies.
board.
Yeah.
We should do a bingo board for our listeners.
Oh my god, of things we always say.
Yeah.
I feel like you could definitely make a drinking game about how many times we say the word basically. Especially on the reading update episodes. That's when we do the worst. The basicallys are out in force.
Basically
Goes into extreme depth of the plot.
Too long didn't read, but gonna do the full plot anyway.
Okay, Unhoneymooners.
I love it when I love it when we're describing a book and we just go on the biggest description of an absolute side plot that doesn't matter at all.
But it's clearly like what we were interested in. It's our world and you're just living in it, so
You're just not enough.
oh my god, I want that jumper so badly. For two sworn enemies, anything can happen during the Hawaiian trip of a lifetime. The double dashes are really pissing me off. What's going on? They've been in a few of them.
Interesting.
Maybe even love. In this romantic comedy from the New York Times best-selling author of Roomies. Olive Torres is used to being the unlucky twin. From inexplicable mishaps to a recent layoff, her life seems to be almost comically jinxed.
It's almost like a breast with a nipple.
Okay, thank you for that.
It's okay.
She's talking about the ball I've given her to play with. Which
just FYI.
was supposed to stop her getting distracted. Play with the nipple ball.
Oh my god, I'm really bad. I'm so sorry. No wonder I lead these.
This is why you lead.
Oh gosh.
By contrast, her sister Amy is an internal champion. She even managed to finance her entire wedding by winning a slew of contests. Unfortunately for Olive, the only thing worse than a constant bad luck is having to spend the wedding day with the best man and her nemesis, Ethan Thomas.
Nemesis to
How
lovers.
can you have a nemesis?
Nemesis is acceptable. I'll accept nemesis over enemies.
But I'm just like
work nemesis.
who has the energy?
Well, that is true. We're all millennials out here.
Yeah. Olive braces herself for the wedding from hell, determined to put on a brave face, but when the entire wedding party gets food poisoning, the only people who aren't affected are Olive and Ethan. Suddenly there's a free honeymoon up for grabs, and Olive will be damned if Ethan gets to enjoy paradise solo. Agreeing to a temporary truce, the pair head off for Maui. After all, 10 days of bliss is worth earning to assume the role of loving newlyweds, right? But the weird thing is, Olive doesn't mind playing pretend. In fact, the more she pretends to be the luckiest woman alive, the more she feels like she might be.
I know that it's not relevant to when the book came out, but it feels icky with a book of people going to Hawaii now. Like knowing what's happened to Hawaii and how desperate they are for tourists to stop going there.
Yeah.
But I know that wasn't the intention of the book. The book's supposed to be fun,
Oh, the number
and
of
I'm
TikToks
turning it
of
into something
people were
depressing
like,
again.
the number of TikToks where people were like, I'm still going.
I don't care if it's on fire. There was literally people scuba diving, like, where near the fires.
Where people are jumping to escape the fires, yeah. Anyway.
And then Oprah Winfrey's like, everyone donate money.
I loved how that backfired.
Yeah.
Like, we're finally wising up to this shit.
Yeah, I saw The Rock's response, and I thought his was pretty good. He was just like, yeah, do you know what, my bad. Whereas she was just like, I don't know what's wrong with people. Why aren't they as rich as me?
Anyway, keeping us on topic.
Yeah.
It's really bad when I have to be the one to keep us on topic because I'm not very good at it.
Yeah.
Love on the Brain, Ali Hazelwood. I have read this. I enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favourite ones of hers, to be honest.
Work rivals to lovers.
Yes. But this is the one where she has the Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that one? Like an avenging purple-haired Jedi, bringing balance to the mansplained universe, B. Koenigswasser. I don't know how to say that. It had a little 2 dots over the O, and I don't know how you're supposed to say those ones.
Well, it depends on what language it's from, actually.
Yeah, doesn't say.
Umlauts.
B lives by a simple code. What would Marie Curie do? If NASA offered her the lead on a neuroengineering project, a little dream come true, after years of scraping by on the crumbs of academia, Marie would accept without hesitation. Duh. But the mother of modern physics never had to co-lead with Levi Ward. Sure, Levi is attractive in a tall, dark and piercing eyes kind of way.
Of course.
And sure, he caught her in his powerfully corded arms like a romance novel hero when she actually damseled in distress on her first day in the lab. But Levi made his feelings towards be very clear in grad school. Arch nemesis work best employed in their own galaxies far, far away. Now her equipment is missing, the staff is ignoring her, and B finds her floundering career in somewhat of a pickle. Perhaps it's her occipital cortex playing tricks on her, but B could swear she could see Levi softening into an ally, backing her plays, seconding her ideas, devouring her with those eyes, and with the possibilities... Oh, I'm really struggling with this description. Like, what the fuck is this?
It's just telling us the whole story as
But it's
well.
also very, like... Clever wordplay is fine, so you have to read it out fast on a podcast. And the possibilities have all her neurons firing, but when it comes to time to actually make a move and put her heart on the line, there's only one question that matters. What will B do?
You should just say, what will B do?
I thought it'd be funny.
It was funny, yeah, you're right.
This is cute. She's literally got a Twitter, which is what Marie Curie do, and it's all about to do with like what women in STEM face, like the prejudices.
This isn't the Ali Hazelwood that our editor sent us a little message?
No, that was Love
Which one was that?
Theoretically, because that was about physics, and obviously that's what his master's was in. So he obviously has a better insight into the industry than we did.
Yeah.
I know the author did work in academia, and she did do a PhD before she started writing these feminist novels. But I can't remember I don't know what her field was.
Yeah, but most of the people reading it won't have a knowledge, so they're just there for the fun.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to make it sound like... When people write sci-fi books, I don't know how sciencey it's correct. Yeah. Oh.
I don't know.
Oh,
And I don't really care.
well. you put big words in there that I can't pronounce, I'm going to assume it's probably correct.
Yeah, I'm just going to believe you. Couldn't give a shit.
I'm not even going to try and read the word.
And we're studying Motherper today.
Yeah.
Using the Motherper principle. I mean, is she in love theoretically? She's studying like crystal something. Couldn't fucking tell you. Didn't know that was like a physics thing.
I'm studying crystals.
But like not actual crystals. It's a theory.
Like
Liquid
one
crystals.
of those hippie... One of those hippie shops where they're like,
I love a
crystals.
good crystal.
I love a good crystal. Yeah, I'm not taking a piss.
I'm
I'm
like,
saying,
oh,
like, yeah.
this one will cure this. Fucking bring it on.
Yeah,
I'm going to go bring it home and put it in a plant pot.
Yeah, and if you use this oil, you'll like sleep better for 5 days or something. And I'll be like, yep.
I don't care if it's psychosomatic and it's just because I've used the oil and told myself the oil will help me sleep.
Yeah.
It's still
It's
sleeping.
working, yeah.
It still worked.
And I'm more likely to believe it over anything else.
Anyway, back on topic.
Yeah. It was kind of...
We're doing quite good for time.
It was
We're okay.
kind of on top.
We're okay. Guild.
Ah.
Plated Prisoner 1 by Raven Kennedy.
Mm.
The Fae abandon this world to us, and the ones with power rule. Gold. Gold floors, gold walls, gold furniture, gold clothes. In Highbell, in the castle built into the frozen mountains, everything is made of gold, even me. King Midas rescued me, dug me out of the slums and placed me on a pedestal. I'm called his precious, his favoured. I'm the woman he gold touched to show everyone that I belong to him. To show how powerful he is, he gave me his protection and I gave him my heart. And even though I don't leave the confines of the palace, I'm safe. Until war comes to the kingdom and a deal is struck. Suddenly my trust is broken, my love is challenged, and I realise that everything I thought I knew about Midas might be wrong, because these bars I'm kept in, no matter how gilded, are still a cage. But the monsters on the other side might make me wish I never left. This is an epic romance, male-female story.
I have this at home.
I've had this in many wish lists. I
I've not read it yet.
Just from the front cover alone, I feel like I'd enjoy it.
And I like the names of all the books in the series.
They're very pretty books.
I want to read it.
Yes, me too.
That's it.
That's it.
No negatives for this one. Nothing for me to poke fun at.
I'm not sure how that's enemies to lovers though, because they're already like love at
They're
the
already
start.
lovers.
Is it love to enemies?
I think the enemies to lovers starts in the second book. I think it's a
Okay.
different character.
Interesting. So next we have Savage Lands, Book 1, Stacey Marie Brown.
Show me the cover, please.
You'll recognise it.
That's the cover I thought, yeah.
Yeah, it's the main reason I put it on here. This is another one that floats around the TikTok sphere.
Is it enemies to lovers, though?
We're going to find out. Right, are we ready to play the game? Enemies or lovers? Almost 20 years after the barrier between Earth and the other world fell in the Fae Wars, Budapest is balancing on a precipice. A battle for dominance is brewing between the elite Fae and the privileged humans in East Europe. The prejudice between the sides is bubbling with hate and violence. I had no idea what this was about.
No, me neither.
I'm already
enjoying this
hooked
so
with
far,
this
yeah.
one. Yeah. 19-year-old human Brexley has grown up in privilege. Brexley. That's not a
They
good
always
romance
have,
name.
like... But it's a good unisex name.
I guess so.
Which is for fantasy books. They have unisex names.
Oh, yeah, I've never noticed that's the thing, but you're alright. Like Jude.
And Bryson, what was it?
Bryce?
In Edge?
No, Dawson.
Dawson?
Yeah, interesting. 90-year-old human Brexley has grown up in privilege, but not without heartbreak. After being orphaned, she is taken in by General Marcus. Living in a walled city rife with power grabs and ruthless political games, then one night the course of her life changes and Brexley is thrown into the most feared prison in the East, Halahaz, the House of Death, where you go in but don't come out. She must learn to live with the worst Fae and human criminals. With the worst of the Fae and human criminals. The rule of hierarchy puts humans on the bottom, where the only way to survive each day is to make alliances with the Fae. Here she meets the sexy, vicious legend Warwick Farkas. A myth among man and Fae, he is brutal, cruel, arrogant, and as lethal as the law says he is. Ruling this prison with unchallenged authority, Brexley can't deny intense draw to him, one that might cost her life. If the games don't take her out first, a fight to the death where only one survives.
Is that part of a series?
It would seem so, because it says Savage Lands Book 1. Oh, yeah, so it's Savage Lands, Wild Lands, Dead Lands, Badlands, Bloodlands, Shadowlands.
Oh, it's not on Unlimited. I was hoping it would be.
Aww.
Oh, I purchased it. I've owned a copy since the 21st of May 2022. There you go then.
Good job.
I really need to go through my Kindle books.
Jesus
I avoid
Christ.
looking at my Kindle
Yeah.
library. It's ridiculous. Oh, there we go then.
Well, there we are.
So I should probably read that.
Yeah, since you actually own it.
Oh my god! 6 books?
Yeah.
Maybe I won't read.
I was reading out the titles. Were you not listening to me?
No, I wasn't at all. I
Oh,
was
you're
looking it up
so rude.
on my Amazon app. Sorry. Tell me the titles again.
No, I
please.
read them out already. The people have heard them. You have to listen back on the edit. Should pay attention. God.
They all say lands.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, they all look really good.
Yeah.
6. I can't.
They're all
We
like
all know I
500
can't
page,
deal
6
with
books.
series.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've owned that.
That does sound really good.
Since May last year.
Right.
Go on.
Back on topic. Sort of. We weren't off topic, to be fair.
I've never heard anything about what that book was about. That sounds really good.
That one does sound really good.
Shit in hell.
Oh, God.
15
We don't need
quid
more
for the
things.
paperback.
Vinted.
Indie authors. You got to get that bag. I'm there for you. But
Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score.
yeah, it's contemporary, so it's not enemies. Just thrown out there.
Let's find out.
I like the cover of this.
Yeah. But I think it's misleading. I think it looks like it would be nice and pleasant.
Like a coho book.
Yeah. Yeah, it is masquerading as a coho book.
Yeah. It's trying to get coho readers to pick it up.
Right. Bearded bad boy barber. Fucking hell. Knox prefers to live his life the way he takes his coffee. Alone.
Is he called Knox?
Yeah.
And he's a barber.
Yeah.
Is it Knox spelled K or just
Yeah.
N?
Knox. Knox.
Knox. Okay, proceed.
Live his life the way he takes his coffee. Alone. I never say, can I have my coffee alone, please?
How do you want your coffee? Alone. Would you like some milk? I'd like to be alone.
Alone. Alright. Unless you count his basset hound, Waylon. Knox doesn't... Can you imagine being like, Waylon, come here. Waylon, sit. What? Right, you keep distracting me.
I'm
Ugh.
sorry, I'm just going to not look at you.
Knox doesn't tolerate drama, even when it comes in the form of a stranded runaway bride. Naomi wasn't just running away from her wedding, she was riding to the rescue of her estranged twin to Knockmount, Virginia, a rough around the edges town where disputes are settled the old-fashioned way with fists and beer, usually in that order. Too bad for Naomi, her evil twin wasn't changed at all. After helping herself to Naomi's car and cash, Tina leaves her with something unexpected. The niece Naomi didn't know.
I was going to say, is this the one with the kid? Yeah.
The niece Naomi didn't know she had. Now she's stuck in a town with no car, no job, no plan, and no home with an 11-year-old going on 30 to take care of. There's a reason Knox doesn't do complications or high-maintenance women, especially not the romantic ones. But since Naomi's life imploded right in front of him, the least he can do is help her out of a jam. And just as soon as she stops getting into new trouble, he can leave her alone and get back to his peaceful, solitary life. At least that's the plan until the trouble turns into real danger. Okay.
So
That one's
she
not for
leaves
me.
her wedding. It's not for me, and I'm going to tell you the exact reason it's not for me. He used the term high maintenance women. I'm not really into it.
Some insully language right
It's not
there.
for me.
He's a high value
And
male.
he when he orders coffee at coffee shops, he says, "I want it."
I like my coffee like I like my life. Alone.
It's like you making that episode of IT Crowd and he's like, I'm a bastard.
Alone, because I'm a lonely loner. Alone, because I'm such a bastard.
And he takes her to his favourite
Restaurant. And it is a Chuck E. Cheese. Guys, watch IT Crowd.
But don't support the producer because he's a transphobe. But IT Crowd's great.
IT Crowd. Anyway.
And they actually handle the trans character on that really well. That was before he became transphobic. Anyway, I'm a lonely man. Just going down the lonely road.
Going down the lonely road. The hating game, Sally Thorne.
you've got that there.
Yeah. Just because of the cover.
It's not enemies, is it? Wait, I'm confused about who was supposedly the enemies in that.
Other one, yeah, I'm not sure how
one.
he was her enemy. Anyway.
Unless she's enemies with the
I
dog.
mean, I don't fact check these when I put them on the list. So if someone says it's enemies to lovers, I just put it on the list. So.
Yeah, until you've read it, you've just got to assume that someone's not lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lonely road.
The hating game Sally Thorne. She's charming and accommodating and prides herself on being loved by everyone at Bexley and Gaiman. Everyone except for coldly efficient, impeccably attired, physically intimidating Joshua Templeman. Of course, he's nice and big and tall. And
What's
the feeling.
she called? Not said her name yet. No.
No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And the feeling is mutual. Trapped in a shared office together 50 or 60 hours a week, they've become entrenched in an addictive, ridiculous, never-ending game of one-upmanship. There's the staring game, the mirror game, the HR game. Lucy can't let Joshua beat her at anything. Shh.
Name. Sorry. Sorry.
Especially when a huge new promotion goes up for the taking. If Lucy wins the game, she'll be Joshua's boss. If she loses, she'll resign. So why is she suddenly having steamy dreams about Joshua and dressing for work like she's got a hot date? After a perfectly innocent elevator ride ends with an earth-shattering kiss, Lucy starts to wonder whether she's got Joshua Templeman all wrong. Maybe Lucy Hutton doesn't hate Joshua Templeman, and maybe he doesn't hate her either, or maybe this is just another game.
I can't read anything where the love interest is called Joshua, because that's my brother's name.
Joshua. Just reminds me, that's the thing from Friends.
Yeah.
Again, showing our age a bit.
Yeah.
This one looks like a bit of me just from the cover and the title. You ready? Heir of Broken Fate. Show you the cover.
Oh, yeah, that looks like something you would buy. Yeah.
Yep. Mads Rafferty. So we're going to see if we're going to read the description now and we're going to find out.
Okay.
150 years ago, the Fae race.
104 days of summer vacation.
Squeeze your ball, shut up.
You need to gag me as well.
I need to have can I have something to throw at you or hurt you with?
No. I'll wet myself if you do.
Actually, yeah, give me the ball and I'll throw it at you.
You'll make me jump and I'll wet myself.
150 years ago, the Fae race vanished, along with their magic and creatures. With fallen Fae lands, the humans were soon to follow, as corruption spread throughout the realm. Heir to the throne, Delilah Covington is forced to watch her people suffer under the sinful hands of her father, the king, while she herself suffers his cruel hand. Delilah has longed for change, and her prayers going unanswered. And okay, I'm gonna fix the grammar of that sentence. Her prayers keep going unanswered until she discovers salvation. Fae are alive. In desperation, Delilah flees her home and crosses the border in the hopes that the Fae will save her people, yet she isn't the only one who needs help. Caught in a web of lies and riddles, Delilah's only chance at hope is Nox, one of the irritating yet frustratingly charming Fae kings.
Another Nox.
We got another Nox. Together they'll need to unravel the many mysteries to bring freedom to both the oppressed people or damn them all.
You need to do this tag as a public one so I can look at it as well.
Yeah, you had to tell me how to do that last time, didn't you? Yeah, I will do that once you show me how.
That does sound like a book you would enjoy.
Yeah, does.
That sounds like a book I would buy and then not get round to for about 12 years.
But it would look pretty on your shelf for a while.
Indeed.
Alright. This one I have read and I really enjoyed, and I read the whole series.
Ah.
Kingdom of the Wicked, Kerry Manisquelo.
I thought you were going to say like Zodiac Academy.
No. Zodiac Academy was on the list on my blog, but I figured A, we've talked about that enough. B, you've shared your opinions about that Enemies to Lovers enough. So I left it off.
I'm intrigued by this series.
It's really good, and the audio is really nice. But I think Only one of them is in the included library.
Oh, of course.
But they're really good. I really enjoyed them. I might have to lie to you. Maybe more of them are. I listened to them in quick succession until one wasn't free. Have a look. Or I've got them, but I won't lend them to you until you're actually going to read them.
Gosh,
because otherwise they just disappear.
Yeah. Wait, so what's the title of it?
Kingdom of the Wicked.
Kingdom of the Wicked. Cool, thanks.
But the audio, yeah, I really enjoyed the audio. And I think it was the last one I had to read. Anyway. Two sisters, one brutal murder, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself, and an intoxicating romance. Amelia and her twin Vittoria are Strecky? Witches who live secretly among humans. They never use that name ever in the whole books, by the way, for what they are.
Question.
Yes.
Is it enemies to lovers?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Witches who live secretly among humans, avoiding notice and persecution. One night, Vittoria misses dinner service at the family's renowned Sicilian restaurant. Amelia soon finds the body of her beloved twin, desecrated beyond belief.
Oh.
Devastated, Amelia sets out to find her sister's killer and seek vengeance at any cost, even if it means using dark magic that's been long forbidden. Then Amelia meets Wrath, one of the wicked princes of hell she has been warned against in tales since she was a child. Wrath claims to be on Amelia's side, tasked by his master with solving the series of women's murders on the island, but when it comes to the wicked, nothing is as it seems. So, yeah, she summons a demon, basically looking to hold the demon who killed her sister accountable, and in doing so acts and kind of binds him to her. But he's like, chill out, my job is to find why they're being killed too. But the journey this goes on, wild. The ending is wild compared to like where you start. Like nothing is real. It's very good.
Wait, one of the Skullduggery books is called Kingdom of the Wicked?
Yes.
It's credits.
Oh.
But, okay. It sounded good.
It is a good book.
I will check it out.
Yeah. Okay. And also, any of these books that I said I have read, you can find reviews for them on my blog. So, check that out. The link will be in our card, in our description.
Mm-hmm.
This one is everywhere. Icebreaker. Maple Hills Book 1 by Hannah Grace.
It's because it was involved in that controversy.
Part of the whole scandal, yeah.
They're probably not enemies.
We're going to find out.
They probably just both want... This is my guess. I don't know what the book's about. But the front cover has an ice skater.
Yep.
And a hockey player.
Yep.
I'm going to guess they both their teams just want to use the ice at the same time.
Sparks fly when a competitive figure skater and a hockey team captain are forced to share a rink.
It's not enemy.
Anastasia, honestly, some of these names. Anastasia Allen, AA, has worked her entire life for a shot at Team USA. It looks like everything is going according to plan when she gets a full scholarship to the University of California. University of California, Maple Hills, and lands a place on the competitive figure skating team. Nothing will stand in her way, not even the captain of the hockey team, Nate Hawkins. Nate's focus as a team captain is keeping his team on the ice, which is tricky when a facilities mishap means they are forced to share a rink with the figure skating team, including Anastasia, who clearly can't stand him. When Anastasia's skating partner faces an uncertain future, she may have to look to Nate to take her shot. Sparks fly, but Anastasia isn't worried because she can never like a hockey player, right? So, no, they're not enemies to lovers.
I'm so sorry. I never realised what chaos I am.
Yeah.
I am, aren't I?
Yeah. Also, one of fairy lights is like stuck in your hair.
Oh!
I don't know how you've done that.
Sorry, Toni started.
It's right, it's 10 to 3. We're getting up soon. Alright. Focus. You've got 5 more minutes to focus. I believe in you. This room's getting warm.
Mm-hmm.
The Sweetest Oblivion, the Maid series by Danielle Laurie. Now, this is the author I see a lot on my lists, especially like the dark romance lists. Danielle Laurie.
Can I see the cover?
Yeah.
Never seen that before.
In my research for my blog, let's find out, are they enemies to lovers?
No.
She's a romantic at heart, living in the most unromantic of worlds. Nicknamed Sweet Abelly for her docile nature, alright. Elena smiles on cue and has a charming response for everything. She's the favoured daughter, the perfect mafia princess.
Oh, no.
Or was. Now, all she can see in the mirror is the reflection of blood staining her hands
up and going out.
like crimson paint. They say first impressions are everything. And this is long. Look how much more I've got to go.
Why are they giving away the entire plot? Just read that last bit in brackets. It's a standalone book. There we go, done.
This is a standalone forbidden romance with plenty of steam and angst.
Forbidden romance. Not enemies to lovers. Just forbidden romantical time.
So her older sister is arranged to marriage, some guy. Marriage.
I like the way you're just skipping ahead now. You're like, nah.
Oh, so yeah, it's forbidden because it's her older sister's fiance.
Oh,
dun, dun, dun.
That's not enemies. That's just naughty.
Oh, I think we just found the title. That's not enemies. It's just naughty. I think you've been a parent too long. So naughty. Oh my god.
So naughty.
Right. Focusing. The Cruel Prince, The Folk of the Air, Book 1, Holly Black.
Actual enemy.
Well, at least from her point of view. I think he's just like,
whatever,
you're
don't
kind of
care.
hot.
It's a bit like a Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
He falls first, kind of.
Of course I want to be like them. They're beautiful as blades forged in some divine fire. They will live forever. And Carden is even more beautiful than the rest, and I hate him more than all the others. I hate him so much that sometimes when I look at him, I can hardly breathe. Jude was 7 when her parents were murdered, and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous High Court of Fairy. 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong here, despite her mortality. But many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Carden, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. To win a place at the court, she must defy him and face the consequences. As Jude becomes more deeply embroiled in palace intrigues and deceptions, she discovers her own capacity for trickery and bloodshed. But as betrayal threatens to drown the courts of Fairy in violence, Jude will need to risk her life in a dangerous alliance to save her sisters and Fairy itself. I would say these books are more about the political intrigue and the plots than the romance. The romance is the subplot. Yeah.
I also find it funny when people really enjoy the books and like get really into the relationship, and then they're like, when you remember that Carden has a tail.
I like
it's kind of barely mentioned, really.
Yeah, but I think her sister uses it to like tease her.
Yeah, then it'll suddenly be mentioned, and you're like, oh yeah, he's got a tail.
But it doesn't have like explicit spicy scenes, so
no,
we
it's
never
YA,
hear about how the tail gets involved.
Yeah,
in the spicy bits.
Well, I've not read 1 and 2, but I assumed as a YA it didn't have explicit spicy scenes.
It's more like vague details describing the act, but not really.
Like Closed Door.
Not quite like Fade Black or anything, but it's like they don't really describe what's happening. Like they'll do that the whole we came together and it was a beautiful explosion, those kind of things.
I will accept enemies to lovers on that one.
Yeah. So this one is enemies to lovers.
Okay.
In my opinion. Twisted Hate, Anna Huang, which is the ones I've read recently. I go back to a reading update a few months ago, if you can be asked.
Do it.
Or my review on the blog. Because I read the whole series. And this was the one I enjoyed the most out of the whole series.
Was the last one the one you enjoyed the least?
Yeah, the one where he's like...
the fashion designer and who's a stalker and stuff,
This one, genuine enemies to lovers, in my opinion.
Even though it's contemporary.
Yeah, but it's like sensible. It's not like he'll murder me, enemies.
Okay. Read me.
They just don't get along, basically, and they never have.
Okay.
He said something nasty about her years ago that she overheard, and they've just not gotten along.
Is this
ever
the
since.
best friend, brother's friend, or something?
So it's this is the brother of her
I
best
should
friend.
probably waited till you read the description. Then I would have known.
Ready?
Could it just be dislike to lovers?
Kind of. They genuinely hate each other, and then that dynamic of like sniping each other doesn't change. It just gets more like bantery as they get romantic.
Oh, I remember you talking about this now. Yeah, this one
which
sounded
is why
good.
I liked it,
Yeah.
because they don't suddenly like get over each other's flaws. They just kind of come to love each other despite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this now, yeah.
He hates her almost as much as he wants her. Gorgeous, cocky, and fast on his way to becoming a hotshot doctor, Josh Shen has never met a woman he couldn't charm, except for Jules Ambrose. The beautiful redhead has been a thorn in his side since they met, but she also consumes his thoughts in a way no other woman ever has. When the animosity explodes into one unforgettable night, he proposes a solution that will get her out of his system once and for all. An enemies with benefits arrangement with simple rules. No jealousy, no strings attached, and absolutely no falling in love. Outgoing and ambitious, Jules Ambrose is a former party girl who's focused on one thing, passing the attorney's bar exam. The last thing she needs is to get involved with a doctor who puts the suffer in unsufferable, no matter how good looking he is. The more she gets to know him, the more she realises that there's more to meet the eye to the man than she hated for so long. Her best friend's brother, her nemesis, and her only salvation. Theirs is a match made in hell, and when the demons from the last gonna start the whole thing again. Theirs is a match made in hell, and when the demons from their past catch up with them, they're faced with truths that could either save them or destroy everything they've worked for. Twisted Hate is a steamy enemies with benefits to lovers romance, and it's book 3 in the Twisted series. But they can all be read as standalones, which is true. So,
but they're not enemies, are they?
not like enemies, not like mortal enemies, but they genuinely don't like each other. Like there's a genuine long-standing hatred between them, and they tolerate each other because of the sister.
Okay.
And then the first time they fuck it is like just hate fucking.
Hate fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I will defer to you as the person who has read the book.
Okay. And then this is going to be our last one because we have reached the time limit. There are 30 books total in the list I have made. We have obviously not done 30 books. But if you want more are available to you.
Go
Just
to Tony's
click
blog.
some links. Yeah. So, Shatter Me. Tahiri Mafi.
I really want to read this.
Now, I was a bit sceptical with this one about whether it's enemies to lovers, but no.
From one point of view? From her point of view, but not his?
Yes and no, because her point of view is heavily manipulated.
Yeah, like
not by him.
Doesn't she know lies about him or something?
It's basically they give her a false reality, not the guy, but like the people in charge of everything that are torturing her. They give her like a false reality in which he's been presented as the enemy.
Yeah.
And it's about her letting go of like the false reality she's been given, kind of, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're definitely not enemies to lovers in this book. It's like 4 books in.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen quickly.
I mean, it's a long series. They've got time.
Yeah.
Slow burn.
And he is genuinely like a bit of a dodgy dude, but he's been trained that way by the people in charge of him. So his morals are a bit skewed.
Iffy.
This one is like it's a 2010s series.
See right.
I think new books are still coming out in the series, but it's from the 2010s. It's of that era. It is a bit borderline toxic. Do with that what you will.
And not like other girlsies.
It's very much of the era. One touch is all it takes. One touch and Juliet Faris can leave a fully grown man gasping for air. One touch and she can kill. No one knows why. Juliet has such an incredible power. It feels like a curse, a burden that one person alone could never bear, but the re-establishment sees it as a gift, sees her as an opportunity for a deadly weapon. Juliet has never fought for herself before, but when she's reunited with the one person who ever cared for her, she finds a strength she never knew she had. And that person they're referring to is not the enemies to lover. It's a different dude.
Lover boy.
She has a love before she then falls in love with the other dude.
That is a series I want to check out.
I really enjoyed the series.
I might try the audio.
It is of its era, obviously. And the first book where she's a bit mental, it's the scribbling and crossing out and like the rambling.
That might not work so well on audio. Or it might be cool because they might have the writing sound effects.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll give it a try.
Because that what threw me is the first book. Like, I nearly didn't make it
A
through
lot
the
of
first
people
book.
have not made it past the first book that I'm aware of.
Yeah. Because it's like, obviously...
It's a very specific style.
Yeah, where she's not well in the beginning, they write the narration like that because it's like her diary in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then the more she interacts with the outside world, the more the narration becomes narration-y and less of a diary.
More stable. And,
yeah. But it is really nonsensical until we get to that point. So I understand what they were trying to do, but it's not very readable in the beginning.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
That is it.
That was a good list.
Yeah. I felt it was a bit of a variety.
Yeah.
I did try.
Some of them we've read, some of them we haven't.
Some of them are not enemies to lovers.
I mean, that was to be expected,
I
wasn't
think
it?
that's one of the ones that's a bit subjective, though. I think we have strong opinions about what enemies to lovers is.
I'm just like, no, I'm right and everyone else wrong.
You're all idiots.
Yeah, like some people would be like, oh, you're in competing PE classes, all enemies.
Yeah, you're
It's like,
enemies.
no. In my opinion, no.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining
go.
us today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it wasn't too chaotic.
Or long, I don't know. I feel like I was talking a lot. Do you feel like that when you do these?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt the last episode, I felt like, which was a few episodes ago for you guys, I felt like I was talking for about 12 years.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed it, please rate and leave a written review if you fancy it. That'll really help the algorithm push us to other people, or share this list with anyone you know that also reads Enemies to Lovers. Come join us on Facebook, Instagram or TikTok. On Facebook in particular, we have a Facebook group that we would love to turn into like a little
forum to chat.
forum community. So please come join us and share your favourite Enemies to Lovers, or share your opinion on Enemies to Lovers. Yeah, we also, for our 100th episode, which is fast approaching, we want to do a question and answer segment. So please send us your questions for us to answer. You can send them wherever, comments, DMs, etc. Toni has also done a form, so you can find that in our card links. And I think that's it for today. Thank you for joining us, and we will speak to you next week.
Bid you a little goodbye.
Bye.